Problems with your router, having to constantly turn it on and off to resolve your internet speed? Well, today I'm going to be discussing how you can use a simple non-technical tip to resolve this issue. Welcome to Dim Tips, the channel that repairs, revives and restores and provides some tips to support you throughout the day. Let's get into it. Please feel free to subscribe below because it really does help support the channel for more things like this. But effectively, if you're having problems with your router, which requires a restart on a continuous basis, i.e. more than twice a week, then you could potentially be running into this problem. And I'm going to provide you with a simple, non-technical solution for resolving this. The cause of this could be a number of things. Cache and memory could be piling up, which is causing conflict issues within the router. So there are things that you can do by programming the router or going into the actual software to assist with that, but that I'm not going to be discussing because it's going to be a non-technical solution. Very simple. The other reason why you could be having issues is because of overheating. It could be overheating. So the other thing that you may want to make sure is that actually there's enough airflow, etc. But also this solution potentially helps with that. The last one could be something on the ISP side, the internet service provider. They could be potentially providing new IP addresses, and then those IP addresses are used by certain users, and then once a number of people on your block or street start using the same IP address or same range of IP addresses, it could be potentially causing an issue there. So the general workaround that your ISP will provide, and it works for a number of ISPs in the UK and in the US and in Canada and across the world, is to turn off and turn on your router. And there's a perfectly good reason for that. That is to clear your cache, to resolve any conflict issues that you may have internally within the router. It could be for a whole host of issues related to that, and just by restarting it and rebooting it, just like your machine or phone, it ends up resolving them. So the solution to this is, rather than you manually going ahead and restarting your machine or turning it on and off from the back, a simple solution that I have used now is to do with the power supply. You can effectively turn it on and off from there, but doing that on a regular basis just is such a headache. It's always when you're potentially watching something on Netflix, you're trying to work, or you are interested in, I don't know, buying something. So the simple solution is to use a switch timer. A switch timer is great. You can pick them up. This is a manual one. You can get electric ones. You can get really fancy with them. But effectively, all it's doing is circling through time. And at a certain point, when you decide to program it, it turns on and off. Now, the period that you decide to turn it on and off can be up to you. I have decided overnight between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. when I'm sleeping to turn the router off. And that allows a couple of things to happen. It allows the router to have a little bit of rest period, i.e. if it's overheating, it allows a little bit of period to cool down. It also clears the cache, because then once it's turned back on, it will effectively clear up the cache that it potentially has internally stored, or anything to do with memory, or any other conflict issues within the software. It's a nice simple solution, and depending on the type of timer that you decide to use, it could be complex to program or quite simple. They're generally quite simple nowadays. So all I do is I plug this into the socket, I plug the router power supply into there, I then plug my lead into my router, it could be anything that you have, and then you're good to go. Therefore, what you end up doing is not having to sit there and restart it and waste maybe those precious 5 minutes for it to come back up during those critical periods. But it seems to be working for me, and I've not had any issues since I've turned it on. If, however, you are having if a restart is not assisting you, or a period of turning your router off, then you could potentially be having firmware issues or other issues, and you should really talk to your ISP, your internet service provider, to get that resolved. That's it for today, but please feel free to check out my other videos across here. Please do subscribe because it really does help the channel, and I hope you enjoy the video. Until next time, thanks for watching and see you soon.